the, the pre-record giggles.
I know it.
You know it?
Okay.
Oh. mm. Me, 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 me.
Serious.
Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather,
Yellow,
red.
yellow, leather, red, red leather, yellow leather.
Hello, everyone. I am Dodge the Grave, or Dodge. I am sitting with Amanda Jane of The Darkest Hour with me today. How are you doing, dear?
So good and very happy to be here.
I'm clapping. You can't.
Yay!
Yes, I'm.
Me too, but I don't want to mess up the sound, so
Right.
just golf clap.
Yes, I was doing the golf clap.
Yes.
We're already synced. I love that.
Yes.
Um, so, and I know I mentioned this to you before, but I wanted to sit and talk to you because it seems like we're always in these situations where we should be able to talk, but, but we don't really get to communicate at all.
No, not at all. I was really excited actually when you said, "Hey, we should like talk and, whatever." I didn't even realize that it was for your channel. I was like, "Oh, this is great." Like double whammy.
Yes.
We get to chat and this. So, I love it.
Oh, man.
Finally, we meet.
We did a collab together with on
Yes.
a Midnight Chills horror narrations channel called Kilroy's Last Job.
Yes.
Or was it it was Ankle Biter, Kilroy's Last Job.
Ankle biter, and that's where I first heard you, I think.
Oh, was it? I think it was the first time I heard you too.
Yeah, I was so because I think whoever gave me the role, there was Kilroy and um old woman, and just immediately I was like, okay, I'll do Kilroy. I thought that was the shorter role.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got into it and I was like, oh, this is the longer role. That's okay. And then I was like, I'm so curious who's going to do the old woman,
Mm.
because I almost told him I could probably do both if you need me to,
Mm-hmm.
like if you want me to just get real old or something.
Yeah.
And then I didn't say that, obviously, I forgot. And then it came out and I heard you and I was like, oh, who's this? Like, when you just hear someone and you're like, they're doing something else.
Yes.
Like, yes. So I instantly like wrote your name down, and then I think I heard you on had to have been somebody's Halloween or Christmas, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just eventually subscribed to your channel because I was like, I'm gonna need to like find this person in the future when I get my shit together
Right.
or my shoot together.
Why is it so hard for people to find me?
Well, it's not that. It was more like I actually found you pretty easy. People have a very hard time finding me,
Mm.
but like it was more like I was worried I was going to forget.
Yes.
Like I don't do anything like collabs all the time, but I have all these projects in mind, and so it's like if I don't write it down or if I don't subscribe, you could just fall into the wind, I don't know. I could lose you forever. So I found you and I was just so excited. I've done nothing with you personally. Like we haven't had any of our own personal projects, but I'm pretty excited to do that in the future. So explode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, totally, totally. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that also it was the first time I've heard your voice, and I was immediately curious about yeah about what else you've done, and so I checked out your channel, and I was like, yeah, Midnight Chills chose the right person for this role. It fits you perfectly, I think. Or no, you chose it. You chose it instead.
I think, well, because he said, I really, want you for this role,
Mm.
but you can pick either one of these kind of things. And so
Mm.
I was like, oh, well, I'll pick the one that he wants me for, because that's always nice. And then I was a little shocked. I was like, oh, this is a lot of lines, and then I was like, no, this is going to be great. So, and it just couldn't have been cast
I
better. Like,
couldn't.
you're a great old woman.
Thank you.
like, yes,
It
yes, I'm
was
sure.
fun.
Hmm.
I love playing that, and I was so glad that that was the one that I was offered because I love those crazy characters. Like I love.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna ask you,
Mhm.
like, do you have acting background? Like, what was your background? Because you definitely find characters, right? Like, you can act, I can tell. So I'm just curious if you like practiced it, or is it just all
I did.
fun?
I did. I
Mm.
mean, no one's
Mm-hmm.
ever going to see me on TV, but the point is,
Sure.
unless you're watching
Sure.
YouTube. But yes, I took drama in high school. I took it, and I moved a lot, so I took drama in like
Yeah.
three different high schools. And when I went to college, I took theater as well.
Cool. Yep.
Love it. If I could make money off of it, I would totally do
Mm-hmm.
it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the dream, right? That was at least that's what I always thought I wanted to do for sure. Make money off of theater and drama and acting, and just love all of that stuff. But it's fun that it ties directly into what you love doing now all the time.
Do you?
For you, I mean, it seems like this is what you do all the time. You have what did you say, 5 channels? So it's
Um,
like,
how do you
yeah.
know? Yes, I about five. Not all of them are mine. There's ones that are, like started by other people and I just
Collabs.
yeah, I just contribute.
Sure, sure,
But
yeah.
yeah, plus or minus. And oh right, from the Papa Scare interview.
Yeah.
That's how you know. Okay, I was like, I was about to
You're like,
say, how
wait,
did
are
you
you a
know?
stalker?
My mom doesn't even know. Like it's just like
Yeah, but like I hear whatever training you've had. Like I hear it. So, like in whatever you're doing. So, that's really cool. You're definitely good at it.
thank you.
And it's like, I mean, I'm sure it's a lot different than being on the stage and in theater, but you can do a lot with your voice and you personally can. So, that's cool.
I need to learn how to accept compliments. Thank
Oh
you.
gosh, I know it's hard. Just change the subject. Thank you is what my grandma always told me. You just when someone gives you a compliment, thank you. And move on as
Then
quickly as
move.
you can.
Thank you so much for no, honestly, thank you so much for saying that. I tried to
Mhm.
bring something different to each story because each story is different in its own way.
Mhm.
And if I'm not pushing myself a little bit or, trying something new, then I get bored. So
Yes.
just just switching it up. I have to ask you the same question. Do you have any theater or acting background?
I did a lot of choir in school, so singing. Um, but I never did the most acting I did professionally was when I was like teenager and my aunt put me through acting classes because I went to live with her in LA, and you don't live in LA and not take acting classes.
Right.
And I had always wanted to do it, and it was great and I loved it and I had the best time, but it was only temporary, and then I had to go back to Washington to go back live at home with my parents. Um, so I sort of was kind of defeated after that, like because I didn't want to leave, and so I sort of was like, I'm not going to do this anymore, and didn't really like. It's always just been a huge part of my life. Like I can't remember what interview it was, but you were talking about how voice actors and just us in general, like we just do voices. Like
Yes.
we'll be having conversations and we just do a voice. Like that's what we do. And so I've never stopped messing around with like voice acting and mimicking things. And I like to do radio and I've gotten to do stuff like that. But that's like the most professional training I've ever had. It's mainly making it a big old hobby, a hobby that takes up like a lot of time, and but it's just like fun. It's like that's just what I've always done. I've always pretended like I was on a stage. So it's
Mm.
just Nice. But you're impressive. You've got probably like real degrees.
I mean, no, I just took the classes. They were easy
Yeah,
electives, and I
that's
mean, why
fun.
not? They were fun.
Yes. Yeah.
So, can you sing?
I think so. No, like my husband and I were in a band, and so we do like we actually are we have a show on the 17th. So
Get out.
yeah, like I love singing. I think I just love using my voice in any way that I possibly can. But I'm not Aretha Franklin or Christina Aguilera, but I carry a tune.
Right.
Carry a tune good. It's a nice voice. I've heard that. I've heard you have such a pretty voice, or you have a very nice voice. So things
Mm.
like that. And I say thank you and then run away.
And then you run.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
run. Yeah, run.
So, do you want an autograph or nervous
Yeah.
laughter? So us.
Yeah. So us.
What kind of what kind of music do y'all play?
Oh, like so hard to pick. I guess we kind of like mix it up. So we do a little bit, like definitely like there's hip hop influence in everything I think that Ryan creates beat wise and
Mm.
instrumentally. Um, but there's also like, like definitely pop. You can't really stray away from pop if you're trying to be a little catchy. So
Yeah.
but he's got like a metal background, so he just like incorporates everything. We don't do metal. That's not what we do, but uh, acoustic, electric, thingy thongy happy stuff and not so happy stuff.
Yeah. Gotta include the not so happy stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So but that's a good place good outlet music, so
I think you're the first narrator that I've talked to that people actually know what they look like.
oh really? Yeah, I actually that's funny because I intentionally got that out of the way very quickly and
Mm.
also not like in a big way. Like I never did a real face reveal.
That's true.
I just thought I'm gonna make my icon me with a filter on it and that's gonna break the mystery. But then, I don't want to show my face. Like I don't want to talk on camera and gag me. I do that all the time. It's like I have a real job and that's what I have to do is be on a Zoom call and no thanks.
Mm.
So yeah, but I noticed that people obsess about that.
Oh,
Like, are you
yes.
gonna show your face? Or
Oh,
you
yes.
you better not show your face.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Either they're very adamant or very against it. There's no in between.
Yeah, it's intense. So, but it's also like I kind of get not showing your face. Like I did it and it's there and whatever, but it's not necessarily what you want people to focus on.
Mm.
Like I really, because for a while I didn't have my face on there, and I kind of love the like you're just listening.
Right.
The
Right.
the looks kind of nice. That's cool too, but like I'm way more concerned about what it sounds like. Very sound oriented person.
I know that mm, there's a lot of role play narrators, like the ones that do male for female or female for male type role plays.
I've just started learning about all of this, but yes, I'm with ya. I hear ya.
And they can't, like, if you do a face reveal, that I can imagine that being very damaging.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Yeah, you're probably right.
I mean, if you're gonna do a face reveal and you're one of those role play artists, I'm gonna say role play
Hmm.
artists.
Yeah, we'll say that.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
go for it. Whatever. Like,
Hmm.
your face is your property. I don't know, dude. Like, do whatever you want. I'm just saying that I can understand how that there can be a lot of pressure for someone who does role plays to do a face review, do a face reveal, and also to look a certain way when you do the reveal.
Yeah, I think it's too much. I think it's a lot of expectation and it
Ooh.
takes away from
Oh yeah.
like what you're trying to do or it's like I don't think that I'm the most like attractive person in the world, but I do love my voice,
Mm.
And so it's like I don't know, in any other area of life, like accentuate your gifts or
Heck
whatever it
yes.
be. And yeah, and I think that like just adding your face or like an aesthetic to it could change it for even you as the artist, maybe.
Hmm.
Like it's not as fun for you. It's not as mysterious or
Exactly.
so it's definitely to each their own, but I can totally understand just wanting to keep the mystery. Like, when we were younger and you didn't know what everybody looked like that sang the song on the radio? Like
Yeah.
maybe I mean, we I'm not quite that old, so it was like we had TV, There was like, yes, you could look it up and you could find them on the television, but
Yes.
I'm talking like, there are times you hear someone on the radio and be like, "Wow, like this is so great." And then like you see them on MTV or you
Mm-hmm.
see and like just like something in your head would accidentally switch. It wasn't that they were like bad looking or something. It was just like,
Right.
"Oh, that's not what I thought they looked like."
Yes.
And then it was just like this, so I kinda, like, think about that feeling a little bit, like, people might just have, like, a weird adverse reaction just because they're not ready for it, And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, just unless you're gonna be an on-camera kinda person, it doesn't really seem like there's a point. Keep
Yeah.
it a mystery, be a cartoon.
I feel like when they can fill in the blanks, it's better than reality.
Right? I mean, that's kind of the allure of a lot of it anyways. You're kinda, like,
Mm.
close at least for, like, my channel, it's a black screen. You're
Mm-hmm.
not watching anything. It's like, lay there and, like, a soundscape is kinda what I imagine, There's plenty of things you could watch with your eyeballs,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not what this is.
Right. Yeah. This isn't that kind of channel.
This isn't that.
No. I figured. I thought that when you said that you did choir, I also did choir. That you went to musicals, but that was a very different
Oh,
theater musicals.
like, did I do musicals?
Mm-hmm.
Annie.
You did Annie?
I was a background maid. So I was, you know, I was not a star.
Right.
But it was at school, like it was for school. Um, and actually, yeah, a lot of choir kids did do the theater, but I had a big problem when I was younger, and by the time it was like school plays, I
Mm.
had lost like all of that confidence. I was like, I don't
Oh.
have it. It just was gone. I thought I lost my chance. I'm never going to be able to go to Hollywood again. Dramatic 12-year-old.
Right.
But yeah, so I kind of like just I didn't ever feel like going out for the plays and stuff. Like
Mm.
I've thought about it a lot more as an adult, and like it probably has a lot to do with like you didn't you didn't think someone believed in you, so as a kid you didn't believe in yourself, something like that. But
Yes. Oh, sad.
yeah, so but I love musicals. It's still my goal in life to perform in one someday, like a real production, whether it's like local or whatnot. But and I watch them all the time, so I definitely love it. But haven't quite mastered getting on that stage and
Right.
feeling it. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Obviously, I'm the same way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think that my personal my personality, I was made to be behind a mic.
Yeah, yeah,
I I I love being on stage. I love the scary anxiety whatever you get from being on stage, but as soon as I got on
sure.
stage, I forgot everything. So,
Mm-hmm.
um
Yep.
ah, I love it, but I think my place is better on behind a mic.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, not necessarily for you. I've never seen you
Mm,
act in theater,
right.
but but I agree that the comfort for
Mm,
me and like the like where I can really let go seems to be behind a mic. Yeah. And like on stage, it's just, well, what's weird is that's probably why singing isn't so hard because you're still behind a mic,
mm, yes.
but like something about like live performance, remembering all my lines, like, oh, scary to me, but
Yes.
I can do the mic thing. I can do the in a dark room
Yeah.
looking at a piece of paper.
Yes.
700 takes later. No.
I can do karaoke night. I love
Oh yeah.
karaoke night.
That's great. Yeah, that's so funny. Me too. Get me up there, sign me up, but it's different.
I mean, you got the words.
Yeah.
They're right on the screen. You have no
Okay,
excuses.
so it's very
It's
different.
just slightly different. I don't have to worry about remembering nothing.
Nope.
But
Nope.
on stage where you have to memorize and stuff,
Oh yeah.
and the blocking and knowing where to stand and trying to make it look effortless, that was just like.
Oh yeah.
And he went to the store, be next to the coffee table. I wish you could see what
I
I'm
am.
doing right now.
I know. I
As
know.
I run over, I say my
To
line.
the coffee
Yes.
table. Yes, because we are the same. Oh, that's
I
great.
always walk like this in giant steps.
I always act out what I'm doing or saying.
Oh, so tell me about your first horror narration.
Ooh, it was. Okay, so I started the channel. It wasn't a channel, it was on a radio station.
Mm-hmm.
And a little local station in shout out Olympia, Washington, Neo Retro FM.
Whoop, whoop.
Uh, but basically, my friend said, "Hey, I've got like an hour every Friday night that I need to fill. Come up with a show, and like we'll put it on there."
Mm-hmm.
And he was already doing stuff for us musically, so I was like, "Okay, this will be great." And like at that point, the pandemic had just started, so Ryan and I were like really antsy. We weren't able to go on tour. We were trying to figure out like literally what to do with our lives, and so we had been listening to, I'll say it, Being Scared and Mortis Media.
Mm-hmm.
Those were two channels that he found because he was the YouTuber at the time, like just always watching it. And so we would listen to those like every night, and then finally, like one night, Ryan was like, "Hey, like, what if we do like this, but like we do it on the radio and not on YouTube, and like we do like our own spin on it?" And so we were kind of like, we love Twilight Zone, we
Yes.
love Alfred Hitchcock, so the intros was like the first thing we kind of started writing. It's like, okay, we're gonna have this intro, and then blah blah blah. So basically, I knew right away I wanted to do true horror because that's what I had been listening to,
Mm,
and subjectively true. It is what it is,
right.
but like presented as true. So I sort of just kind of looked at the channels that I was listening to, two of them, and thought, well, where do they go to get their stories? I mean, I knew nothing,
Yeah.
so I just listened to them and eventually found my way to Reddit and was like, oh, this is what people do. And so I just started doing it myself, but not on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason I really agreed to do it, like I was like, yeah, was like spending all that time listening to other people tell stories and like just the way my brain works, like I'd sit there and be like, oh, I would have had different inflection on that.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I actually would have spaced that out a little bit more.
Yes.
Like I would sit there, and then it became this thing where I was like, am I just gonna like critique? So I thought like I'm just gonna put my money where my mouth is. And I'm gonna try to do it.
Mm.
And so yeah, that was basically it. I was just channeling my "Are you afraid of the dark?" and all the stuff because spooky is it's my jam,
Heck
and it just
yeah.
worked. I mean, let's be honest, the first one, I don't know if it worked.
It existed.
It existed, and it was a great learning
Yeah.
experience, like, oh, I don't want to talk like that. Okay.
Mm. Mm.
Just finding your voice is so awkward. It's
Of
like,
course. Oh my God.
yeah, but it's fun, right? It's like it's really fun. I actually haven't gone back and listened to the old ones in a while, but I noticed the
Mm.
improvement, I should say, as I went on. But yeah,
Yes.
the rest is history. Then I started putting them on YouTube like almost a year later when the station was kind of coming to a close, and we were like, I don't want to stop doing this. I really like it. And
Mm.
then we're like, let's just see, we'll put it on YouTube. If people like it, we'll keep going. And they did. So we just kept going. And now we can't stop
No, we can't.
ever.
It's a drug.
Yeah, I know.
It's legal.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. It's legal and
and
free.
free. Sort of. It's
Sort of.
sort of free.
Minus if you pay in time, that's for
Oh
sure.
my gosh. Yes. Can I clock in somewhere?
Uh-huh.
There's no benefits to this job.
I have no insurance.
No insurance, no unemployment.
Yeah, which I'm really impressed with people that
Oh,
just dive in, and I have yet to ever feel like I could quit my 9 to 5.
no,
Like,
right.
like maybe someday, but for now it's like, no, this is just like, this is fun, and I would love to build like, this is the building the business part. It's like you guys were talking on you and Papa Scare talked about it a little bit, like it's your business, you're trying to build it up.
Yeah.
Take it seriously.
Yeah. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
people don't realize how much work you actually put in.
Oh yeah. No way. I mean, the fact that people still ask me to hang out is a clear indicator that
Right.
they have no idea. Just
Right.
kidding. Like, sorry, nope. Still doing the thing.
What day is it? Is it what? Is
What?
it morning still? Like you come out of your dark recording
Yeah.
closet just like sweaty and dehydrated.
Like, you want to go where? No, I can't leave my house. No.
Oh my god, that's such a good point. Like your friends, your
I know. Sorry, guys. I love
love
you.
you so much, and I miss you. Believe it or not.
Yeah, believe it or not, I do think about you.
I think about you every time you send me an "Are you alive?" text, and even in between.
Yes. Yeah. I just, forget to
God,
do anything about it.
ugh. I'm like, okay, I could send them a text to say, yeah, I'm alive. How are things? But then I'll have to stay on the phone.
I know, and I just try so hard not to be that person that like, hey, and then leaves. Like we're having a conversation and then so I'm the worst because I tell myself, when I have time, I'll sit down and I'll do everyone all at once,
Yes. Me
And
too.
then it's like, you never did that.
Me too.
But you recorded a lot of spooky stories. So good job.
Oh my gosh. And then when you actually get to talk to them, are you texting or are you actually calling everyone?
Oh, I'm
You're
texting.
texting.
I'm so
Okay.
bad. Yeah, I'll call my family. My family gets the phone calls and but like I've never really been a chat on the phone with my friends kind of person. Like that's like never been my thing. So I think they
They're
get it.
used to it. Yeah.
Yeah. If people are in my life now, I think they're here. They get it. And that's about my family. That's
The friends that we as horror narrators have, y'all have the patience of gods. And we
Yes.
appreciate and love you so much.
So much.
Ones who understand that it takes me a month between each text. I love you so much.
Yes. You're appreciated.
And I am thinking about you. You know who you are.
Mhm. You know who you are. You know who you are too,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
From me.
You know who she's talking about. Um, does your family or any of your friends watch your channel?
I I know that my family, like my cousins, and I've got a very supportive uncle.
Mm.
And I know that like individually they all listen. My brother's one of my Patreons,
Oh,
so
nice.
shout out Brendan
Whoop,
G.
whoop.
So that's really cool. But you know, they're basically as supportive as a supportive family could be, kind of. You know, like they've been listening to me talk my whole life, and
And still they.
they still support. So yeah, but I think my uncle and my cousins are actual like fans, and my brother obviously because they like listen a lot. My mom, it's funny, we talk every day. She loves horror. I love horror. This is what we do,
Mm.
but I don't think she listens to the show.
Interesting.
Yeah, she's that way though, you know.
Yeah, moms.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
expect my mom to. I'm sorry.
Y- Yeah, is that why is that? Not her cup of tea.
No, it is not. Um,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't watch horror movies until, dang. I mean, there's so many horror movies that I haven't seen because my family just wasn't like that.
Oh yeah. I had plenty of friends who their parents and them were mortified
Mhm.
that I had seen like Freddy Krueger, you know, stuff like that. It's like, what? No, you can't watch that here. Sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't, there was not a lot of censorship, I don't think, growing up, but single mom, television kind of raises you a little bit some of that time.
Mhm.
And you can't always control what's going to be on the telly. So
Right.
yeah. And I was definitely that kid that was like sneaking out of my room to like watch, like, what are they watching? You know, look always, every time. Like, especially if they said I couldn't watch it, you know, I was like, oh, well, now I want
No,
to.
right. I didn't even want to before, but now I really
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely saw like every horror movie way young.
Mm,
Mm. Yeah.
I get the you haven't seen this? Oh my god, the gasps
Oh,
of
oh, you get
shock.
that a lot,
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure of it.
yes.
Well, my husband's like you, where like his mom was like kind of like just protect like he couldn't watch MTV. So I don't know if that's like how your family was, but he couldn't watch MTV and certain things. So when I met him, it was like I mean he had seen it by then, but when he was growing up, he couldn't watch that. And so there were so many like movies and like references that I would have to fill him in on, you know, and be like, "Oh yeah, you didn't watch MTV. Shoot. Okay, well,
Interesting.
here's yeah. Yeah.
Was he back when they were still doing videos, or was this back like when they started doing the real world and
Oh no, this was like when did you grow up? I don't know your age range, but I was born in like
yeah,
80s, like
80s?
late 80s,
Okay.
right? The latest you could get
Okay.
without saying
Okay.
it. So like but I just thought it was so interesting like oh you're not able to watch like MTV. I just had no censorship, I think is what was really going on.
Mm,
Everybody around me probably was like normal for their age and I was like Freddy Krueger, you know, going to see Scream in the theater, you know, and people are like that's crazy.
no. Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
Yeah, but you know, then it just creates this character here. So it's, you know,
And
it's not
here we
all
are.
bad. Here we are. Here we are. Someone who talks to themselves in a dark room
mm,
multiple hours a day
yeah.
about spooky stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we are. I wonder if it would have affected me as much if I had grown up with horror.
I'm
I
curious. What
wonder.
was your first exposure to horror? Like, I'm very curious when someone is like, you know, technically sheltered. What is the like, what was your first exposure to horror that was like, ooh, I like this?
Oh, you mean narration or a horror movie?
I guess just horror in general, like
Mm,
narration aside, but just the first thing that you were like, ooh, that's spooky.
I think it was Freddy Krueger as well. Yes.
Yeah, he'll
It
do
was the
it.
worst
Yeah.
thing you could have shown me because now I'm like
Yeah.
insomniac. So thank you.
You know, it's true. I mean, I had horrible nightmares and suffered a lot of like sleep issues growing
Yeah.
up, so I don't recommend, show like taking the route I took as a child, but it's very interesting. Yeah, Freddy Krueger will do it. Getting you in your dreams. I mean, come on. Who's gonna go to sleep
Right,
now?
exactly. Sweet dreams. Like what?
Sweet dreams. Good night,
Good
sweetie.
night. Good night,
No.
sweetie. Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah.
Slowly closes the door. Oh my god. And my bedroom was in a hallway. So when the door would be cracked open, you know a child's mind. Anything's coming around that corner.
Oh yeah.
Good night, mom.
It's coming for you.
No, honestly, mom, I love you so much. You're like my twin sister. I love that woman.
Gotta love a good mom, you know.
Okay.
Gotta love a good mom. I do. Holla, shout out to all the good moms out there.
Oh man.
Oh,
I'm going to give you one of the questions that yes. So I
nice.
asked on Twitter and I asked on my YouTube channel in a post what questions you have for Miss Amanda Jane. And Shadow Stories asks, what influenced you to work or to do it yourself? I think you pretty much answered that question, but
Yeah, I would say that is interesting too, because we definitely do it by ourselves. Yeah, working with people is hard. First of all, we had a lot of experience musically working with other people. Um, I think honestly, like I trust Ryan's ear like as much as I trust mine. And I honestly couldn't imagine anybody else doing it for me. Like I couldn't imagine anybody else taking my voice and mixing it in with the things that we create. And it's actually like the only thing that's fun about it is that we do it ourselves. Like, you know what I mean? Like now there's a lot of things that are fun about it. We have people that listen to us actually and stuff, but
yes.
yeah, doing it ourselves is like half the fun. Like I make all my own thumbnails, I just like all the stuff that is about it is like what we're about. So when you add somebody else, that's when it can get fun, but it can get there can be fun to be had, but you lose a little bit of that control and you lose like yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't even know half the things I know now if I didn't do it myself. So
Yes. You answered
mm.
one of my questions and the other question we have.
Oh,
And that answer,
double
yeah,
whammy.
we are.
We're just here to
There
save
we go.
time.
We're all about efficiency here.
Efficiency.
What part of narrations do you like most? Asks Lady Spookaria. Thank you for your question.
Oh gosh. I think that there's something like not every story is great, but there's something yeah, I don't really know how to say it, but it's like I love finding a story and just making it as like it really is mine, I guess, as possible.
Yes.
Like that's my favoriteest thing to do. And I think that's probably why I chose true horror because it felt like I could do that more authentically without I guess really putting myself out on a limb and doing character work in the beginning and stuff. So it's like yeah, I like that. I like getting to feel it out.
Did you always do 1 hour long episodes, or is that just like,
Well, that's how it started. Yeah, because I had to fill an hour on the, well, technically like 40 something minutes with
I see.
commercials. And so, yeah, so it was like an
Mm,
hour. And then we were gonna keep it that way. But then as we started to transition, I was like, it's hard to fill an hour.
it is.
If we want to keep going, and I had no sources for stories at that time. In the very beginning, it was like a couple of things I found on Reddit, and then recreating stories that my family had told me, stories that were like mine, like just anybody's ghost story I could find. It's like
Interesting.
how it started. So,
That's a lot of words.
mm. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Lots of words. But I will tell you this.
Hmm.
I do think that having those hour episodes in the very beginning is one of the main reasons that I have the watch hours that I have. And that's why I don't remove anything, because I feel like it makes a difference, like keeping them on there for some reason. And so I couldn't maintain the hour if I wanted to keep maintaining the show, but I kept my schedule. So that's something I've never changed. I've always posted on Fridays at the same time. And that's really fun. Like, that's the fun part of YouTube, I think, is getting to do that.
I think so too. I think
Yeah.
that is something that will shoot a new narrator in the foot is doing those really short,
Yeah.
yeah, the really short five,
Yeah.
10, 3 minute.
And it's just because it doesn't benefit the channel in those early days the way you want it to. And
No.
so that's what I really, really think. And I had an early Patreon/subscriber, Dark Cosmos, shout out. But they kind of told me early on, like, hey, you're like watch time, like that's good for how little subscribers you have.
Yeah.
Like you're doing something right, basically. And I was like, oh, okay, well, we got to keep these long videos.
Yes.
And that was sort of the pattern I noticed with the people I was watching. All their videos were either an hour, like a little longer, or something like that. And it wasn't until I got into like finding other people that I saw people had shorter videos. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's something I always tell people is like, if you can get yourself a good, long video, couple of them, keep those on your channel, because for some reason they deliver.
Heck yes. You
Yeah.
have that one cryptids video that's like 2 years old that
Mm-hmm.
has over
Yep.
3,000
Yes,
views.
that was the first video to ever break 1,000.
Dang.
And I was like, and yeah, and so I was like, okay, there's obviously something to this whole compilation thing,
Mm.
which I definitely got that pattern from Mortis Media, because he would release video. First of all, he was releasing videos every day, which was like, you're an
What
animal.
the heck?
But then he'd release these like mega long ones, and they'd
Mm.
always have like astronomical views, or like they would have more views than the one he released the day before. So,
Crazy.
so I kind of just noted like, okay, when I get enough stories, I should probably do that.
I wish I knew.
And yeah, it worked. I mean, I even tell people like,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you have on your channel, make a big comp of it. Like 3 hours of dodge.
Oh, Lord
Like,
help you.
yeah, I'm sure, but like I know I can tell because it sounds like you've spent a lot of time in Audacity, right? So you do a lot of your mixing, editing, all of that, right?
Now I do a lot of
Yeah.
it in Audacity.
Yeah. So I can imagine that it would be harder to keep your train of thought.
Yeah.
That's what I just lost.
Well,
Darn
keep
it.
your sanity,
It's gonna
more
be-
like.
keep that too. Keep it. Keep it.
Uh, my thumbnails when I started out were crap. I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh, girl, I didn't even have thumbnails.
Oh, you didn't?
I did not even have a thumbnail.
Holy crap.
When I first started, I mean, I basically was new to YouTube in general. Like, it was crazy, but that was one of the first things that Mortis Media told me, because I had reached out to him obviously when I created a channel because I have, I had no idea you should or shouldn't do that.
Mm,
But one of the first things that he said is like, hey, like all great stuff. Couldn't even believe he took a moment out of his day to tell me, but
mm,
it was like great stuff. And then he said, but you gotta have thumbnails. And I laugh about this now because I can't believe I didn't have
right?
thumbnails. Like I think about YouTube and what it is to me now, what it has been for 2, 3, 4 years, and it's thumbnails. That's like what it is.
Yeah,
So,
there's no other way.
and, sometimes you just meet people and they they really they really enlighten you like that.
Oh man.
So I get it.
But you weren't one of those people who are like, I don't need thumbnails. Thank you. What's your name
Oh
again?
no, no,
Mortis
no.
Media or whatever.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't need it. No, I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. I'm going to implement this right away. Reach out to you in 3 months with a new business proposal. No, but I did. I for sure applied his advice because
Mm,
I was floored that he even, talked to me. So it was like, I'm not going to not listen to this guy. Yeah. So that was super, super helpful. And for anybody that was a channel subscriber before I had thumbnails, thank you so
thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
Might have just
Oh
been like family
gosh.
members and a couple of coworkers, but
Yeah, exactly.
thank you.
Thank you so much. Just a bunch of black squares on a channel.
Yeah. Oh my
It
God.
was great.
What? It was, oh, it was straight black? Okay, I thought,
Yeah, because
oh,
my videos are on a black screen, so
right.
it just picks the thumbnail for you. Oh gosh.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
fun. Really fun times. So yeah, that was a really fun time.
And here we are.
And here we
Like
are.
literally
Yeah.
because your thumbnails
Yes.
are crazy good.
Oh, I love them. I love making them and I appreciate that. Thank you. Love that.
They pop out. Like
Yeah.
I don't even care about cryptids, but I'm like I really want to click on this video for some reason.
Yeah. That's kind of that's what I like. I like to hear
Mm.
that. Yep. Yeah. That's great.
Did you scroll through and sort of like check to see what thumbnails look good or what?
Yeah, I definitely didn't want to do, I'll be honest, there a lot of people's were the same. Like
Mhm.
when I first started out, I felt like everybody's was very, very similar. So
Oh
I knew
yeah.
I wanted to do something different. And my early ones, it's all just based on whatever app I had downloaded at the time, right? And then
Yeah.
it was like, then I got into it, and I was like, I'm gonna get Canva and like do some designing.
Nice.
And yeah, that's like so much fun. I wish I could do that like a lot more, but everything in this whole endeavor is time consuming if you do it yourself. So there's only so much time.
Yeah. I think you're the first person I've ever heard say that they like doing thumbnails.
Oh,
I'm
really?
yeah. Usually they're like, I want someone else to do my editing, my thumbnails, my No,
Yeah,
just
yeah, I
kidding.
do feel that. I mean,
Oh,
yeah, especially if you're doing all of your editing yourself.
yep.
Yeah, I can't. I've started to do a lot of editing as I record because it just makes it a lot easier. But yeah, goodness.
Just started recently trying to do that.
Well, just like over the last like year, just
Oh,
being
okay.
like, you know what, I'm gonna make this a little easier on all of us.
Even if you can shave off
Yeah,
3
yeah.
hours.
Oh gosh.
Especially if you're doing 1 hour long videos. I'm just like,
Yeah, that's why
serious?
it's still like to do the double features throughout the week is like a little extra challenge for myself, but I
Mm,
could never do an hour videos like every day. Like it's crazy how much work goes into one 40-minute video.
it's crazy how much work goes into reading a book.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, yeah. I know that.
I
Yep.
started listening, well, not recently. I've been doing it for years, but listening to
Mm-hmm.
audiobooks and listening to just just the stamina, just the reading
Mm-hmm.
stamina of doing that.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I can't even wrap my head around it.
yep. It's I'm doing my first one as we speak.
Get out of
And
here.
yeah, and I'm very excited, and he's a great author. I just it's been it's a different ball game, you know?
Tell me
It's
more about that.
like recording stories, it's like they're each their own, right?
Of course.
So each one is like fun and different, and you are able to kind of like, if you don't have the exact same, pacing for this story, that's okay because it's not the same story.
Mm-hmm.
And with the audiobook, I just notice I pay a lot more attention to that stuff because it's
Mm.
like I obviously can't record the whole book in one setting,
No.
but I would like to because it's, I'll be like, oh, I don't think I sound like that today, and I'll think about it too much. And so it's just been kind of fun, but I also got sick. And so that really
Mm.
threw me for a loop and made everything seem a lot harder. But I'm excited to actually sit down and record more chapters. But yeah, it's different because I'm used to variety, I think.
Right.
And this is like, well, you know, variety after 40 chapters, then you can read something new. But first you
Ooh.
gotta, yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
doing. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was done. Finished.
um, I may not have the reading stamina yet, but I get bored so easily that it's just like, can
Hmm.
I have something new?
Me too. I
H-
know.
Hence the 5, 7 channels.
That's yeah. I mean, that's been probably one of the hardest things is like not creating a million channels and
Mm.
not putting a bunch of stuff on my horror channel. Because yeah, I'm definitely always thinking of what can I do.
What can't you do
And
with that
honestly,
voice?
the only thing that saves me
Mm.
with time is knowing that I'm only willing to put, certain things on my channel. So if I get excited about something and I know that it'll never go on the channel, I just stop thinking about it.
See, that's what I should have
Because
done.
otherwise, yeah. Because ADD, just
You
one
too.
thing to another. Oh yeah. Ooh, it's bad.
I
So
I was recently diagnosed with ADHD.
there you go.
My
Yeah.
my doctor was like, "Do you have trouble focusing?" And after
Only my whole life. No.
after I stopped laughing at her,
And then you said, "I'm sorry, what'd you say?" I forgot.
I forgot what you said. And
Uh,
I was after I
yeah.
stopped laughing, I was like, "Oh, that's right. You don't know me."
Yes. Yes, I have a lot of trouble
That's a
focusing.
lot. I forgot what right. And then I was like, this morning, I woke up at 3 o'clock. I was on a treadmill. I was watching a YouTube video, and I was listening to an audiobook at the same time. And she was like, "Let me refer you to someone." And I was like,
That's like you just described my life.
I was like,
Oh.
"Please tell me this is normal because I get nothing done with my
Hmm.
attention span. It is very difficult for me."
Well, it's not that you don't get anything done. You just get little things done
Mm.
for every, 500 projects you have. So
That's
it's like it
true.
never, yeah. So it just never feels like you got anything done because nothing's officially done. But
Oh my gosh, did that happen to you too?
yes, yes, it's okay.
I'm not alone.
You are not alone.
Thank you,
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Thank you. God.
Oh my God, I swear to you, I thought I was the only one who did that because
Oh no, no.
ah,
Yeah, struggle is real.
thank you. Thank you so much. Because then you get those people who get those bursts of energy and focus, and they're just like shut out the whole world because I don't know when this burst of energy is coming. I need to do this now.
Mm-hmm.
Kame,
Mm-hmm.
kame. And then it's like magic.
Like
It's like
magic.
magic. How did you find your
Oh
voice? Your
yeah.
voice got over time, I think it got deeper and slower based on what I heard from your videos.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I think the deeper is not intentional.
Mm.
I think that's just like, hey, this is life in a like post-COVID world. Um, but the slowness, I think, is definitely just like listening to myself. And also another thing that when I first ever collabed with Mortis Media, like he's so professional, right? He had like all these rules for like collabing with him, and not like you have to do the like expectations for sound quality and such. And one of the things was, don't rush through the story, take your time, pay. And so I'm glad he had that, because part of me mentally was like, oh, I'm doing a story on somebody else's channel, I should hurry it up. I should not take up too much time. That was my initial mental thought. But when he wrote that down, I thought, like, yeah, that's actually like really good advice, because sometimes you just get in there and you just start going for it. But that made me actually like think about it and be like, okay, slow down a little bit. And that's actually what I really like about most of the channels that I like, is that they do take their time. If I get someone who's talking too fast, I gotta go.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm just like, this is not gonna work. So
Why? Because you're
pacing,
doing things while you're listening, or why is the faster talk not good?
my own attention, like how I learn and take words
Mm-hmm.
in, is like I need it to be like a little bit slower. Then I can follow
Yes.
your story. Also, I'm just like, you can't be too slow, right?
Right.
And you can't be too fast. So there's my ear, like just the way I take in sound, I feel like can be like so criticizing of itself. Like,
Mm.
so I feel like I have to, there's people I'll listen to at different times of the day, because I can hear something fast right now, so I'll listen to it, and like I watch a channel called Vsauce. I don't know if you know what that
Mm-mm.
is, but all they do is talk fast. But I'm okay with it, because I'm not listening to them to like go to sleep. I'm listening to them to like get jazzed and be like doing stuff, and so I like that they kind of talk fast,
Mm.
but please don't tell me a scary story fast. Like, it's just not scary.
Interesting.
Like, so, but I just pay a lot of attention to things like pacing and uh, dialect and inflection. I'm just totally obsessed with that stuff.
Hence why you like me.
Yes. Ding 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 ding.
I get it now.
Yes. That's right. Yeah.
Fun. It's hard for me to say where I got my voice because I don't really have a voice.
I don't
uh,
know.
do I have?
I think you
Okay.
do. I think you do.
Okay.
But I also think that's what's like fun about you, and maybe your channel in general, is like I felt like I had to find my voice because I was the same character every time. Like, I am Amanda Jane. And so I can't sound like, hey guys, it's me, Amanda Jane. What's up?
Right.
And then, like the next time be like, hello everyone.
Right.
So it's like there was just this like inconsistency with how I was hearing things, and I was like, I just need to hone in on the thing that like matches the spooky, and like
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing is you're honing in on whatever role you're taking, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like, to say, to find your voice in that way seems like it would be kind of hard, because you don't want it to sound the same in every single one,
Right.
So, um, yeah. So I think you have a good thing going on. It's just like, if your channel was like, I am Dodge the Grave and I'm going to tell you, you'd want to find your quote unquote voice, but I think this is sort of your voice, like the way you're interviewing and like you're like kind of funny and like a little sass in there. You know, it's like there's definitely you have a unique voice. I think Papa Scare said it. Like you have a distinctive voice for sure. I think you're just like I want to do 5,000 projects and heck, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. I like variety.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You are consistent. You are amazingly consistent with your narrations. I mean, of course, like the first 10 or 19 of them have you finding your voice, but
Mm-hmm.
once you hit that, it was just like it doesn't matter which video you click on. It's going to be Amanda Jane. You know what you're getting.
Love it.
And
Great.
I'm just in awe of that.
It's great. Yay. Thank you. It's part of the, yeah, it's definitely what I've, yeah, that was the finding your voice for sure. I wanted that experience for people. I wanted them to, a familiar voice, but also like a consistent, like when you go to Starbucks, you know,
Yes.
you always know what you're going to get. It's going to always taste the same. And yeah.
But you've never wanted to try it any other way.
Oh, I love trying it every other way. And that is why I love doing collabs. Like, I had never, the only person that I had ever reached out to initially to work with was Mortis Media. And I just thought that was like a shot in the dark.
Yes.
And after that, I just kind of just kept going with my channel. Like, I got some support from, you know, doing a video with him. But then the best part was people, however they found me and wanted to do collabs. And so didn't even know what that was. And once I figured out what it was, I was like, oh, I would love to do this for like any channel that ever wants to talk to me.
Yes.
Like this would be so fantastic.
Yes.
And that's when I just started having a lot of fun with it because like the ankle biter story and stuff like that, like more of those were like finding their way to me. And that's yeah, I have so much fun doing all of that. And that's what I mean about like the attention span stuff is like I
Yes.
have wanted to do like so many different things on the channel, but just kind of reined it in and said, nope, I'm not going to do it. And now I sort of save those things for like the holiday season, you know, get my kicks out. But I love voice acting.
Yeah.
I do. So yeah, that's I get my kicks from other people's channels really. And it's great because they're great. You know, most of the people that I've worked with have actually, whether their channels are big or small, they all have pretty great sound. So
For the
I like that.
right.
And for the most
For the
part.
most part, and they have really cool stories that I would never have
Yeah.
picked or that I would have
Yeah.
missed. And I'm just like, "Oh,
Oh yeah.
thank you."
Yeah. Like I didn't even know what a creepy pasta was until I don't know, maybe 2 years ago.
Right.
And then it was like I still haven't read any of the anything that anybody knows, but well, I wouldn't say that, but I don't know. I'm not a creepy pasta gal, you know. I don't know all the famous ones and stuff like that, but I sure love when they come across the desk. You know, it's a fun
I
chance.
love yeah. It's
Yeah.
and then you tell them that, "Oh, what's this? Who's Jeff the killer?" And then they gasp and then just think twice about your existence and how you've survived for so long, not knowing.
Yes. Are you? Are you
Are you all right? Wait,
okay?
you're a horror
I-
narrator?
yes, I
Yeah.
am.
Stop judging me. I feel like you're judging me.
Judge me.
Um, the only reason why I
Oh.
know about Jeff the Killer is because I watched a lot of horror gameplays, and there were so many Jeff the Killer game like fan created games that I
Oh,
knew.
okay.
It had nothing to do with me knowing about the story or anything.
Right. Yeah. You game, so yeah, that's you know a lot of things from the gaming culture, really, because they do kind of cross
They
over.
do.
Like it's crazy,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
how much they do.
And so I figured out what the story was. And I was like, what is the big deal about this?
I know. Like some, I get it. Cool.
Some are really cool. The
Um,
Sandman one is really
some are
cool.
very cool. I don't know that one.
Where the Sandman game, or How to Defeat the Sandman, was one I just read recently because I didn't know anything about the story.
Okay, okay.
And you got to do all these things, mark your arm. You have to stay awake for 8 hours in the dark without any electronics, and every hour you like
Oh, I know what you're talking
yes.
about. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
for a moment, I was like, this sounds like a great idea.
Yes, please sign me up.
I have candles
Yes.
and a sand. What is it called?
Yes.
Sand? I
Oh,
don't know.
girl. I'm gonna go with sand. Final
I
answer.
mean, we're just going to say sand clock. There you go. Hourglass.
Yeah.
Got it.
Hourglass.
Yes.
Dang it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got it.
we
We
we are
got it.
horror narrators, believe it or
Yes.
not. What would you do if you weren't? Would it be? Oh my goodness!
Hmm.
I mean, you already do
At this
so
point,
much.
yeah, at this point in life, if I was like, I always think about this because one, I love The Little Mermaid, and two, I use my voice, but I always think about what would I do if I lost my voice. And I would just, if I could still hear, if I wasn't deaf, I would go into sound design for sure.
Dude,
I just couldn't live without it.
there's so many things
Yeah.
about being a horror narrator who edits audio and whatever that your whole world is opened up to sound. The things that
Mm-hmm.
you hear are
Mm-hmm.
just, I can't explain it, but it's like a whole nother level of hearing things after narrating and editing your own stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also very valuable to, we've said it a million times, but hear your own stuff, edit your own stuff. So,
Have to.
mm-hmm.
There's one, someone I know who's getting started with doing horror narrations, and they have someone else doing it, and they're really glad they don't have to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but they're like, I need to do
Sure.
this myself too, because I can't really
Yeah.
you can't really
Mm-hmm.
depend on someone else always being there.
No, I mean, unless you're literally married to them and they live with you, and that's really helpful. And even then, it's like impossible for me to have not picked up things over
Yeah.
the years, because we are like, I am over his shoulder. I am watching what he's doing. He's over mine. It's like definitely trying to. You're learning so much. Like doing it yourself is time
Yeah.
consuming, and I don't know. Maybe you could just launch to the top a lot quicker if you had somebody doing it for you, but. I think everybody kind of gets to that place where they're like, I think I need to do this. And then hopefully you get to a place where you say, I need somebody else to do this
Mm.
and I can, afford or allow that to happen. But there's just so much in the DIY that's fun.
Like yeah, my life is completely different now because of it.
And you gotta love it, right? Like you got couldn't do 5 channels of anything if you didn't love it.
I'm shaking my head, shaking, nodding. I'm nodding my head a
And
lot.
you're like,
Yes.
yes. Yes.
Yes. You have to.
Mm-hmm. And the people will know. They'll know if you don't love it.
Oh, they can hear it.
Yeah.
They can hear it.
And then they won't hear it
And then,
again.
ooh, and that is the last time they will hear it. They
Yes.
may stop by. Yeah,
Hear
they
it.
may stop by just to see, how's it going. But
They're not listening.
I hope, dude, I've heard it. I've heard it in narrations that I've done when I got to the point where I was burnt out and I was like, but I need to post something, you know?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I love listening to myself narrate. Sometimes I fall asleep to my narrations, but
Mhm.
when I come across those narrations, they hurt my soul. I cannot listen to them. I'm like, I could have done so much better. And
Oh
I'm,
yeah. I feel the same way. I keep them on there, and I have listened to everything I've done at
yeah.
least once. But after that, I'll wait for it to like feel nostalgic before I need to go back and listen to it. But yeah, it's it's painful to listen to sometimes, but it's also very reaffirming. It's like, oh yeah, I'm doing
Yeah.
much better now. On the right path.
Yes. Listening to your first narrations and then listening to your current ones, you're like, oh, oh my.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
good now.
Thank you.
I've
Yeah.
improved. I am doing better now. Mm.
Oh, I guess it was I don't know why I wrote this down, but do you do collabs like on your channel? Do you have other people do stuff, or is it mainly all you?
It's mainly me.
Mhm.
I collabs take me forever. I
Ugh,
just
me too.
posted one with holy crap. It had Magnetar, Goodnight Goosebumps, The Devil's Interval, and me in it. And I had never done a collab with that many people. And that is the
Mhm.
last time.
Yeah.
I have one more story that has like
Yeah.
four other people in it, but that is the last one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tough. That's tough.
I don't know how people do it. And that story was an hour long, and I got that story maybe 3 years ago, and it took me that long to edit it, get my get
Oh
my mind
wow.
around sitting down and editing it. You
Uh-huh.
know what I
Uh-huh.
mean.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
finally, oh my gosh, and then I added sound effects, but I was like, no, you're not going to go crazy with sound effects again. Just calm down. Only four sound effects and that's it. It's so
So hard to
hard.
do.
When you start when you start with that one sound effect, it's a
Uh-huh.
snowball effect of, oh my gosh, she opened the
I
door. She shut the
know.
door. Oh my gosh.
And I will tell you right now, I love sound effects more than emojis. Like for sure.
They'll never
Like
understand.
if they had it their way, they would just be like, probably don't put like, oh, I love them.
Oh my
I
god.
love them so much. It's probably my favorite
Adding
thing.
them.
So
Um,
yeah.
there was
Mm-hmm.
one narration that I did that I loved. I loved so much, and it wasn't even that big of a deal. It was just that I
Mm-hmm.
loved what I was able to do with it, with the sound effects and the audio and of it.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
asked my audience, I was like, so which part do y'all think is my favorite part of this narration? And, they were saying things that I read or, something visual on the screen. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
no,
Mm-hmm.
it was when I put that someone was outside of a door walking and then opening the door to the left of their ear. And then so
Yes.
this when they
Yes.
opened the door, the sound of the muffled walking got clear, and then there was more walking, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can hear the person get laid down on the bed to the right, and it's
And it's
panning.
panning,
Yes.
right? In their
Oh my
headphones.
god,
Yeah.
I love that so
Yeah.
much.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
That makes my
Yeah.
heart sing. I love
Huge,
stuff
huge.
like that.
It's
Yes.
my favorite. literally, like we have all of our favorite like knocks saved in a folder, our favorite like window opening, like because I will often ask if I can record the sound effects
I do that
myself.
too.
My husband likes to find them, but I am an amateur Foley artist, and I will give you my best knock. So yeah, it's it's great.
No, it's great.
My favorite.
It's great. You're not the only one. Dude,
Yes.
when it's in the story and they have like she's jiggling the doorknob or knocking, I'm like, I can do that.
Yes.
I
Yes.
can.
And there's like so much more opportunity for it in creepypastas too, which is one reason I'm sad I don't really do those. But during the holidays, yeah, I have a lot of fun. I put any sound effect you can think of in a good way,
Yeah. Like,
in a tasteful way.
let's make that clear.
Yeah, but it's like, just so we're clear, those videos are not like go to sleep, you know? These are like, you could try to go to sleep, but I promise that knock is gonna wake you up.
Dude, do that.
And it's great.
And
It's great.
it saves you hours of time searching through freaking folders and websites.
Yes.
Give me a
Yes.
break.
Just record a quick knock.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
it.
I
On a
love that.
door.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think y'all as listeners understand what we have to go through.
Yes, and we will find the right door, you know, because we can't have it sound too light or
Mm-mm.
too heavy for the story. So, yeah, there's a lot when you care.
See, I'll give y'all a demonstration. All right, since I'm in my closet next
Oh,
to a
there you go.
door. Yep. So let's say in the horror story, it has like someone knocking on the door, like who's like nervous or scared. Are you gonna use this door knock?
She was terrified.
She was terrified.
The knock on the door was so chilling.
Shave and a haircut.
Oh man.
No, you're not
You're
gonna
not.
use it.
I know, there's like this one animated horror channel that I don't
Oh,
even know what it is, and I wouldn't call them out anyways, but it's so funny because they use the same scream for every story, even if it's like, you know, and then he whispered, you know, he whispered an ouch, and it'll be like, ah, like it's
no,
this crazy,
please.
yes, yes, yes. And it's like they don't mix it right, and so all the other sound goes out. You know, it gets like real quiet, and it's just,
Yes.
it's really funny though.
Oh my gosh. There's so much that goes into
Oh my god,
audio
yeah.
audio and doing the balances right and the levels right and mixing it, and I still don't think I do it right.
Nope. I try. I mean, for the most part, everything stays the same, but we're constantly changing things. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, there's a lot, and plus your ear, like we were saying, you hear things more, and like I don't even know if I used to hear mouth noises, and now, like, yeah, it's all I can hear if they're there.
Right. I don't think I heard mouth noises when I first started narrating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wouldn't have known how to get rid of them, even if I did, because I wasn't using
Mm-hmm.
Audacity.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wasn't like editing stuff that crazy. I thought I
Yeah.
was fine.
We always do.
We always
We
do.
always do.
Thank you,
Thought I was
commenters, for
fine.
telling us to get good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually another thing that was like good about collaborating with other channels
Oh yes.
was like the feedback, like looking in their comment section and seeing like what people are saying, because it's one thing, you know, to get feedback on your channel from the people that love you or, you know, whatever, but it was interesting early on, and I would listen to their criticism, you know, like people always want to respond to people, and it's like, no, don't do that, but take what they're saying, you know, because like sometimes they're not just hating,
Right.
They're like actually saying something that if you take that advice, it might actually change your product a bit. So there was a few times, like I had a very heavy echo. I've fine-tuned it quite a bit, my reverb and echo, but in the
Mm.
beginning, it was very like people would notice it, especially if I collabed with somebody else. So I started doing like
Yes.
changing my vocals, like taking the effect, like changing it when I would send it to other people, and like
Yes.
just things like that that like maybe I wouldn't have even thought of if a commenter didn't say something, because Mortis Media certainly wasn't going to say you sounded like crap or something like that. So it was interesting to hear, and I think that was probably like another beneficial thing about collabing is like getting that kind of honest feedback.
Oh yeah. Instead of
Yeah,
your
just
viewers or your
just a
subscribers
like a
who,
yes man.
yeah,
Like yes, yes, it's all great. It's like you can only take so much of that. You need some real criticism.
someone who's a little, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's why you stay nice to your friends.
yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, absolutely. That's true. You
Mhm.
And not only that, but you're paired up with people who have larger channels usually,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that just spurs you into wanting to reach their level. Like
Yeah.
you
Oh
do
yeah.
I do even better on collabs than probably my
Yes. Oh
own
yeah.
stuff.
Yes.
I don't
I
want to
do.
disappoint anyone.
I know. No, for sure. Oh yeah. Like I can tell I'm like trying to like add like this little extra Amanda Jane in there when
Mm,
I'm doing a collab, and yeah, I definitely, yeah, it makes you work a little bit harder,
mm.
and it's always interesting, to hear your sound with their sound, and yeah, you just learn a lot that way.
And when the larger channels will be like, "Yo, you good," and you're like,
Yeah, it's like positive, like that too, right? Like that,
"Mm-hmm."
honestly, like everybody needs a little positive reinforcement. And I think if you gotta go ask for it, that's cool too. But when it comes to you, it's really nice. It's nice to know you're doing a good job when you're working with someone too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I think that was huge for this, and you talked about this a minute ago, but it was in the back of my mind that I wanted to bring it up again. But you had your channel starting out without the thumbnails, and then Mortis Media comes up and it's like, yo, you need thumbnails. And I wonder if you still would have taken that advice if they were just like if they were a smaller channel, or maybe just someone who commented.
Someone who commented at that level, maybe.
Mm.
I think in the beginning I was like so eager for any advice
Yes.
that I probably would have taken it.
Yes.
But I guess it was just good that it was coming from somebody that I I guess I like took their word for it, kind of thing.
Mm.
Like this guy's telling me to do something, I'm looking at their channel. It's one of my favorites. They seem to be doing great. Kind of doesn't make sense not to listen to this person.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe if it was just a random stranger, would I have thought about it as much? Maybe not.
Mm.
But I can't imagine that my channel would be doing much.
It'll be doing something.
Maybe doing something. It just might be a little
You're at 4K. Like,
Yeah, that just happened. That's last
congratulations.
Friday. Yeah, thank you.
Holy
So
cow.
happy about that.
Mm.
Yeah, so excited. Probably gonna do something cool. I don't know what, but a video.
Switch it up
Probably
and
like do some horror narrations.
maybe.
You know.
What did you do for the 3K?
Did I do anything? I can't even remember. Oh no, I usually do a collab,
Mm.
but I think that 3K was like at a weird time.
Yeah.
Like happened during a very busy time, probably the holidays. That's exactly what it was, because I remember thinking, I'm already doing so many things, like, do I just keep going with my schedule, or do I say, hey, this is 3K? So I think I just ended up not doing it, because collabs is also like you're depending on other people, and
Right.
just because it's the right time for me doesn't mean it's the right time for you. So
Right. Man.
man,
I hope I answered your question.
I think you
I
did.
think I did.
Yeah, absolutely. I know now that you technically do collabs, and I'm pretty sure that you would collab with me if I reached out to you and was like, hey, you want to be on the channel? Pretty sure you would do that.
Are you
And
asking me?
oh yeah, you're already in the
Oh,
lineup. You're
sweet.
especially in the lineup for like when I'm writing my scripts. I'm like thinking of voices I want to showcase. And yeah, you're definitely just one of those voices for me. Like I'm pretty sure I could give you almost anything, and you'd be like, I got it. I've got a character for that. So that's just the vibe you give.
I love that vibe.
It's a great
That's an
vibe.
awesome vibe. I like it.
It's a great vibe.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, yeah, right. I kind of do collabs. I have like 6 that I'm still trying to finish. And so that's going to be another 12 years. And
Okay, good. We'll see you next
yeah.
century.
But I I was just like you. Like anyone who would ask me to do a collab, I was like, yep. Where
Yep.
do I sign? Yes.
Yes, please. Well, honestly, I think that has to be like the best thing that you did, though, because like people like me, I don't know if I would have ever found you,
Yes.
and so I as much as people are always spouting off about collabs can't help your channel and
Oh.
blah 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 blah, and it's like, sure, like a collab can't carry your channel, but to say that it can't help your channel, that's
That is
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
It can absolutely help your
Yeah.
channel. So
I'm one of
yeah.
those people who just I get buried in the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
And so if anyone there seems to be the only way that people can find me is if I'm in a collab. And so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
here I am. I'm right here. I know it says collabs closed on my Twitter, but I'm going to change that very soon.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm so here for it. But
Yeah.
if there's like a collab that's maybe one sentence or so, I'm just like, give a smaller channel a chance. Like, I'm not the only female narrator. Give someone smaller
Mm-hmm.
a chance to shine.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is the first year I had to like say no to a couple things. Just because I was like, that's just me though. I get too busy, and so I won't commit because I don't want to let people down. And it's like the main reason I don't do a lot of collabs on my own channel, because I'm very bad at uh organizing, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
being responsible for that many people is
Mm.
not a strong suit.
Yeah.
So definitely takes work.
I will be a part of a collab, like,
Yay!
but as far as me doing it, I don't like feeling like a bill collector. I don't like it.
I know. That's what it is. That's what it is. I hate the hey. Hi.
Hey,
Like, did you forget about me?
if it's the other way around,
Yeah.
probably. But
Yep.
please remind me like a week in advance or something. I'm
Oh
one of
yeah.
those people who is just like I need the stress of the pressure of the job.
Yeah.
I'll submit it
Yeah.
at 11:59 the day it's due.
Oh yeah.
PM.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Are you kidding me?
Why am I telling you? Of course you
I mean,
understand.
yeah, this honestly, that is right there. That's the ticket and the key to why I do premieres every Friday night, because I have to. I can't not do it. You know, so it keeps me honest.
Mm.
It keeps me it keeps me real, or it gives me something like that pressure. You know, it's like, oh, Friday's coming up. It's about to be Friday. You
Oh,
know, I got to do it. I have to do it. It's going to be, and so that, like, so I record my episodes every week. You know, I don't do anything in advance.
I
So,
see.
yeah.
Interesting.
Mhm. And
Ooh.
luckily my husband's the same way. We both work off pressure, so it's like great.
So the
Wonderful.
things get
They get done.
they get
They
done.
get done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot. Do you ever
Yeah.
do live streams?
Oh no. You can tell by my organization that actually that's funny. That was one of my questions for you. Is like
Oh.
I'm just like in awe of people that hop on and just do a live stream. You know, it's like no way.
Woo.
No way. I'll do it one day, but gosh, even this, you know, I'm so happy we've managed to stay on topic for so many topics, you know, because I can't do that.
Maybe that's your
So
superpower. Maybe that's how you get to
maybe,
keep the people on the live stream because they never know what to
yeah,
expect next.
maybe you're right. I'll have to give it a try to find
See?
out.
See?
No,
Hi.
I have wanted to do that for a long time. Not even for like any other reason than to just like talk directly at the people that are there with me every Friday. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's like I'm sitting there chatting, but I feel like a live stream would just be a nice way to vocally say, like, I freaking love you guys. Like, let's talk.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, something I haven't done yet, but
What's stopping you?
technology.
Technology, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I've kind of figured out this Discord thing. I just heard somebody else mention um StreamYard. There's like a bunch of things, right?
Yes.
It's just like, ugh,
I think it's
that's it right
Streamlabs.
there. Ugh.
Yeah, that's it.
That's now that is something that maybe if somebody came in and did that for me, I'd be okay with. If they were like, "Hey, I'm gonna set all this up for you," I'd be like, "Great, love it. I'll maintain it." But yeah, it's time consuming, you know. I don't want to sit down and learn it. There, I said it.
There. What are you going to do about it?
There, I
Nothing.
said it.
The danglies on you.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for being honest.
That's right. That's right. It's me. It's me.
I don't
I'm
want
the
to learn.
problem.
And forget reading live. Forget that.
Oh yeah.
I
I
mean,
do think that's
ugh.
like so impressive though. Like you do it, right? You record and edit while you talk to people or whatever.
Mm, mm.
Do you edit your story like on a live stream?
Oh
Do you
yes,
record?
yes. I've edited a narration before.
Yeah, and that's like so smart because you're like double whammying your content right there. I've always thought about that. Like if I could record my stories and fit like Derek does that. Derek Weber. He'll like do live streams where he does his recordings and you know, he'll mess up or do whatever. And then he edits those stories and that's his
Mm,
actual episode, you know? And it's like that's so smart. Why are you so smart like that?
yeah, like you're smart too.
Yes. I mean I try, but yeah, he's very smart. He's a pretty helpful guy.
Yeah, he's full of brain juice.
Nuggets of information, you know?
Yes,
Absolutely.
he's
He's
got the
just like,
nuggets.
and he's like, he's a
Mm,
sharer, you know? I just love that. He's like, here's this excellent information that everyone should know. And
mm.
it's like, oh, thought that was like a coveted secret,
I need to check
you
him
know?
out
But
though. He does give a lot of good information, but
yes.
I'm just like I'm sometimes I get into Amanda Jane mode. I'm just like I'll just keep doing what I'm
Oh,
doing
yeah.
because it's
Oh,
what I'm doing.
I'm terrible at listening to everybody else because I'll do it usually when I'm going to sleep. But that's like, that's something I did a lot more before I started, right? I
Hmm.
listened to people. Now it's like, when? When can I listen to people? I
Yeah.
don't have time. But I try. I really do try to listen to everybody that I really enjoy.
Mm.
But I could probably do better, you know.
Definitely could do better.
It's just hard to do your own thing and stay a fan of other things, and
Oh.
that's like the hard balance for me, you know. I've always been quite a fan and just don't have like a lot of time to fan out. Oh, I don't know if this is like a fun question for you or not, but I was kind of surprised that you were going to school for accounting.
Right.
I was like, oh shoot, she's smart. Okay, business brain right here. Like, how did that happen? How did that happen for
I
you?
don't know if you call it that, but it's a brain that I have.
This is
It
true.
is in my head. It happened by accident, completely by accident. I
Really?
Yes, yes, and I think a lot of people who get into accounting, it's done by accident, or they find it by accident as well, because
Right, right.
it's one of those jobs you don't really grow up wanting to be one. Um, I wanted to be a teacher, and
Mm.
I wanted to be a math teacher, and then a drama teacher, and then an English
Mm.
teacher.
Sure. Yeah, like a teacher.
Just science teacher at one point, and then I went back to being a math teacher, and so I got to the last year of the last semester of my degree in education, and
Mm.
that's when you're supposed to shadow teachers, which I think should be in the beginning of the stupid semester, the beginning of the
Oh
year.
gosh, yeah, that's a trap. That is a trap. They do not want you to see it early on.
Yeah, that should have been the first red flag. I was like, oh, okay, that's what y'all trying to get me. Um,
Yeah.
and so I started shadowing teachers, and they were like, yeah, you can't fix that. I was like, but no, we could, if we can just, they were like, no, you can't fix that.
No,
You
you
can't.
can't.
That's not going to
Nah.
happen.
Yeah, it's a tough gig in this country.
Dude, especially now.
It's oh yeah. Now it's like don't.
Medals. There should be like serious medals given to any teacher.
Literally.
We love you,
Literally.
teachers.
And it better be a gold medal because they're not getting
It
a
better be
raise, you
made
know?
of
Like
real gold.
holy.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm upon this later. Um, and then so you asked about accounting.
Yeah.
I was on unemployment, and they were like, "Okay, well, you're not working. How about some free training in these things?" And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"IT, I guess. I could try that. Construction? No. Bricklaying? No. Why am I still in the construction section? There was a lot of construction things there. Some lawn care? It's like, no. I have sensitive skin. Like, no. And then it went to accounting, and I was like, I like math. Why not? So, I got
I like math. Well, if you like math, I mean,
I
can't be the
right.
worst.
And you don't even need that. I mean, you need math, but you don't need that much math in order to be an accountant. There's a lot.
That's good to
Yeah,
know.
there's a lot of equations, and there's like basic. I mean, not like 4 plus 4, but it gets a little crazy. But it's not that bad. I feel like I'm trying to recruit people
Yeah.
now.
It's not that
Come
bad.
on,
Come
guys,
on.
give it a shot.
Come on.
So,
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I think it's
thank you.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, my teachers are crap, but it's about what you want to learn.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it's about.
You, college?
I did not actually. I actually didn't even finish high school. Believe it or not, I went
Mm.
back to finish high school. And yeah, but I was not ever probably bound for college. It's something I would do now. I would definitely go back to school
Mm.
now, but I struggled so much in school that the idea of getting into debt to go struggle was impossible for me. Couldn't wrap my head around it. So um, just got right into working, you know.
Yeah.
As soon as I could work, work.
Mm.
I'm gonna be an actress, whatever it was, and didn't want to go to school. Now I love the idea of school, but I don't have time. So
Yeah, look at that.
I do a lot of like. There's so much you can do on your own nowadays. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. So,
There's a lot
but
of
I
YouTube
always,
experts.
yeah, college is very impressive. And I'm always impressed when someone has done it for like a long time. Like I have a lot of friends that
Mm.
have been in school for years,
Yeah.
and I super respect it. But yeah, it's not for me. But it's definitely not forever. Just in the past wasn't. I never knew what I wanted to do, right? Like I think you said when you like switched my major like 8 times. I was like, that would be me. that
At
would be
least 8 times.
that
I'm not
would be
even
me.
including other things I switched it to. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was fortunate that I got all my electives out of the way. And because I switched majors so many times, I can switch my major to anything now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to take any more electives no matter what I do because I've switched my majors so much that they were like, okay, now you got to take this now. Okay, well, now you got to take these. And I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
just make me a professor already.
Right. Yeah, there you go. There's your teaching. You're gonna be a professor.
Trust me, I
Uh,
know all of it.
yeah. Yeah. When I went back to get my diploma, I actually had a lot more fun than when I was in school the first time. So I think about it a lot, like going back, and I think I probably will someday. It's just when I figure out what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I also think that I would have been happier to go back to high school because when I was in high school, I was like, screw this
Oh
sucks.
yeah. Uh-huh. Exactly. Exactly.
If I was able to take a break from high school and then come back, I would have appreciated it a lot more, I think.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know if that was the case for me, but it definitely was like an age thing. Like I needed
Mm.
to go to high school when I was like 21.
Right?
I would have
Yes.
been like way more ready to do school, but
Yes. No, for real. Like seriously,
right? Like
that's true.
yeah.
I hated math until I
Oh,
got
that's
to
funny.
college.
Yeah. Well, you're probably, yeah, I guess that's true too. I always thought I was so bad at math, and then I went back and I was like, oh, I just wasn't paying attention.
Well, teachers, you know,
That too. That
yeah,
too.
all the
There are bad
pressures,
ones.
and
There are good
there
ones.
are some that are teachers. And you know what? If anyone knows, I understand all the pressures that a teacher has, all the blah blah blah. I get it. But my teacher had too many students. She had too little time, and I didn't know how to ask questions.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point.
I didn't know how to tell her. I didn't know how to tell her what I wasn't getting. And then at
Yeah.
some point, I was just buried under a lot of terms and stuff I didn't understand, and I just
Yep.
couldn't see myself out.
And that's very similar to my experience with um like high school math when we got into high school and
Oh,
then
yeah.
switch my teacher and yeah, whole different ball game.
Crazy.
Mhm.
Sad. I
And look at you now.
Look
You're
at me.
basically an accountant.
Yeah.
I love it.
Any day now.
Any
Thank
day.
you, Professor. Your name I forgot, but you are the MVP.
That's right. Right.
I was like, wait, oh, so that's what she meant. Oh, that's what I was supposed to do? This is so freaking easy. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, I
Yeah.
that that teacher was just like Why are you smiling at me? I was like, I didn't. This is math. I love math.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. That's so true. I really enjoy math more now that I'm older, so.
Mm, I think, did we get all of your questions?
I think so.
Okay. We went through a lot.
Maybe. We did.
I didn't even drink my
I
tea.
love it. I didn't. Oh my god, that's so funny. I didn't drink my drink either. It's sitting here. The ice is melted, and
Oh,
I didn't touch it. That's really funny. We just been gabbing.
I
Just.
know.
Let me know if we need to redo anything.
Okay. Can you do bep, bep, bep again for me, please?
Oh, you want sound effects and voices? I got you.
You know what? That's what I love about doing role plays. Other
Mm-hmm.
than sound effects, is that they're it's a different set. It's a different skill set. You
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Because there's a difference. There's a difference, like telling a story and,
mm,
you know, being a character, I guess. So,
isn't it
love it.
different also when you're reading a book? Like, cause I always thought that my narration speed was the right speed for doing an audiobook, but someone was telling me that no, I read too slow for audiobooks, that I need to read faster.
I actually had somebody say something similar. Not necessarily that I was too slow, but to make sure that my pacing is like matched with other audiobooks. And I thought like, well, that's going to be different, depending who's narrating, but I get it. So,
Interesting.
I mean, I guess I would take all of that with a grain of salt too.
Hmm.
Like it really only matters the author. That's the only opinion that matters.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, everybody else can, yeah,
Buy the book.
Buy the book. There you go.
Do you ever hear someone talking and just either tell them or think in your head, you should do narrations?
Oh, all the time.
Do you?
All the time. Yes. Yeah, all the time. I at least say it in my head.
Yeah.
I at least say it in my head all the time.
Oh, you only say it in your head. You never tell them?
Well, I was trying to think about that actually, like who I've like been around since
Mm,
thinking about like all this stuff, but I can always tell. One thing I do know is I always ask people like, "Are you a singer?" Because I
mm,
feel like I can kind of tell when
mm,
people talk or like do a certain thing. I'm like, I feel like you sing,
mm.
and usually I'm kind of right about it. I'm like kind of right about it. So,
What's your rate of success?
oh gosh, if I had to guess, I'd give myself a 70-30.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I bet. Well, that's not fair. You already told me you're an inquirer. Never mind.
Cheater.
So, but I was gonna say, I bet you sing.
I
So,
do. My mom says I'm
yeah.
amazing.
Yay. Yay. Thanks,
Thank
Mom.
you, Mom. I love you. You're never going to listen to this, but one of these days.
Yeah. I just think most people, if I can hear them like using their voice, I can kind of picture like, I think you sing.
Mm,
And yeah, I'm usually kind of right about it, but it's just one of those useless talents I have.
dude, once I'm able to play the piano or the guitar and sing
Uh,
at the same time, I am going to be fierce.
yes.
Open
Yes.
mic night. Oh, I am so going to open mic night.
Yes. Just let me learn piano and it'll be good.
I just have to learn the piano. What's the big deal?
No big deal. No big deal.
Any day now. Any day. I learned one Christmas song, so.
Oh, I can play that one part of that one Beethoven
Oh,
song.
yeah. The chopsticks, was it?
Mm, I know that one too.
Yeah.
And that's about where it stopped.
Was there anything you wanted to say about your channel? This is your
Oh,
time.
this is the
This is the
time. This is the chance to get it all out there. Let's see. Amanda Jane, Darkest Hour. My channel, not a lot changes on there, so you can expect that if you head over there, you'll get a video every Friday, Wednesday, and Sunday. It's like a weird order to name those days in. Um, yeah, and I'm working on an audiobook. So you'll get that. And if you go to my channel, you'll find my music channels on there. And if you like instrumentals, you can listen to the instrumentals. If you like sing song, you can listen to that. So much of my voice out there. And yeah, just head over there because I'm going to have Dodge on there soon. Okay? It's going to be a good time.
Oh, heck yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even if I'm just reading a story. Eek.
Oh, yeah. It's not just reading a story with you, Dodge.
Oh, no.
It's so much more. So
I'm never going to use my Brooklyn accent again, so.
That would be a mistake. So, especially if it calls for one.
I'd never run into stories where they need a Brooklyn accent, so geez.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it so much. I was living for it. So, like, truly.
Truly, yeah.
Yeah, I really was. I was like, this is like, I just love it. Like, it's so authentic, and like you like do it so well. Like, I don't know, it's just so. I'm like so obsessed with the accents and stuff. So yeah, I loved it.
I. Thank you.
Yes. I was like, yes, this is the Dodge that I know, and she's bringing it, and I loved it. It's perfect.
Your voice is iconic. I'm going to say that.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
There's a lot of people that I want to talk to and interview, but I felt like I really wanted to talk to you, and thank you so much for saying yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I'm a smaller channel, so like it's not really much to say yes to me, but you did, and I'm very grateful for that.
Well, it's my pleasure, and I don't know what this means or if it means anything, but when I first heard your voice, I was surprised that you weren't a bigger channel. So I don't know if that means anything because you're like, I still need the subscribers and still need the watch hours. But like, just like that's what you're selling. What you're putting out there is like you are a bigger channel. Like that's the vibe I get, and so I just appreciate your vibe. So I'm really glad I got to like hang out with it and get to know you a little bit more.
Same here. Ugh.
And just like keep doing it, obviously, because you're so good at it.
Ugh, so are you. And I'm trying to. Yeah, no, that you saying that means the world to me. You say whatever it means to me, it means the world to me, because what drives me wavers.
Sure, yeah.
I need to know that I'm not doing it wrong. So knowing that, guys like you and TJ Lee and are saying that I'm doing well, that really means the world. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn.
100%.
100. You're so cool.
You too.
You musicians, y'all are so cool.
I think that's kind of true. I think that's. I do tend to like a lot of musicians.
And then when I go for my piano practice or my guitar practice, and I have my guitar on my back, Don't I feel so much cooler?
Oh yeah,
I feel like a freaking rock
automatically.
star.
Automatically, like 10 points cooler. It's like sunglasses.
Yes. Just whip off my aviators and just
Mm-hmm.
whip my hair.
That's right. So cool.
So I can't even play chords yet, but I'm so much cooler
But
than.
look at me. But just look at me. So cool.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you again, Amanda Jane from The Darkest Hour, for being here. Y'all have a great rest of your week. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
So, lady, I don't remember when we actually met, but
I don't remember how. I don't remember when.
yeah.
Like, it's just a blur. Like,
Mm-hmm.
was it Baron?
Uh, it doesn't sound like something Baron would do.
Baron would never subject you to me.
No.